Rebecca, and for the next few minutes I'd like to tell you about a new Cyan Ventures title named Area Man Lives. It was developed by Numinous Games and published by Cyan Ventures in association with City Lights. Now, Cyan Ventures is a side of Cyan that is helping small developers bring their dream games to launch. A few years ago, Rand, the CEO of Cyan, decided he wanted to help the gaming industry more at large, and at that time helped his longtime friend Chuck Carter bring a game named Zed to fruition. Rand is doing it again with Area Man Lives, and without further ado, let's bring on the Numinous team. Hello, everybody. Welcome all. And we have everybody here. Yes, okay.
Rebecca,
Yeah, it's good to see you guys.
take us to your panel.
Good to see you.
It's been a long road, so let's talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about it. Before we get into Area Man Lives, let's do some introductions around the room. Team Numinous. Amy, would you care to start?
Sure. I'm Amy Green, and I am the writer and narrative designer and director on Area Man Lives.
I'm Ryan Green, and I'm a director and programmer on Area Man.
I am Mike Peroto. I am producer, developer, and I also do voice acting in Area Man Lives.
And I'm Joshua Larson. I did the art direction and some design and programming on Area Man Lives.
Okay, thank you guys for the introductions. So let's just start with the questions. So, for those who don't know about your company, can someone tell us a little bit about Numinous Games and what makes Numinous Games what it is?
Yeah, I think Numinous stands for innovation and storytelling. We really love telling stories and kind of exploring like the heart of humanity, you know? And I think another thing is just caring about people who've been left out and reaching out to those who feel lost. We definitely are passionate about that too.
We tend to believe that you are the most effective in reaching people when you kind of design for one person in mind. And like, Numinous started because we were designing a video game about Amy and I's son who had cancer. That's called That Dragon Cancer. And it was about our, family and Joel and our love for him and the struggle of battling something that is, you can't defeat on your own. And so those feelings that are common to all of us, like, helplessness and powerlessness and love and loss and grief and faith and hope and all of those things, right? Like the messiness of being human. So we really want numerous projects to really reflect that messiness of being human and those moments where we connect with each other. And like Josh said, we also want to serve people that are often left out. And, part of that is just, we've been able to do work in accessibility and work in like other projects that deal with rare diseases. And so yeah, that's just kind of like the undercurrent of what we do. But, we're not only a serious company because we also employ Amy, and she is decidedly not serious.
I won't let us get too navel-gazing around here. It's true.
Well, speaking of that, coming off of That Dragon Cancer, what made you want to tell this story, the story that is in Area Man Lives? Amy, go ahead.
Sure. That Dragon Cancer was it felt like a beautiful gift that the games industry gave us. The fact that we were able to kind of take this really precious moment in our lives and share with the world what that felt like in a video game. But it also was just a snapshot of this one moment in our life, the hardest moment in our life, the most precious moment in our life. But it was just this one piece of us. And so when I look at our studio and who we are, like our studio is made up of really funny people. Like we're a good time. Like, but no one wants to hear that from the people who made that Dragon Cancer, right? Like, you kind of get a picture of someone and you say, surely, like, they're just who I assume they are from this moment. And so making initially Untethered, and now as it has transformed and taken on its own life as Airyman Lives, part of it was about just offering a little bit more of our lives into a game. So that Dragon Cancer absolutely was us offering our heart to the world, but I feel like Airyman Lives is us giving a little glimpse into our personalities into the world also. And I guess another piece of it for us was that there were definitely moments in making that Dragon Cancer where we had kind of a crisis of confidence. Is this something we should be doing? Is this the right move? Like, there were times where we didn't feel sure, and anytime that happened, it felt like there would just be like a weird coincidence that would show up at just the right moment to go, yeah, like, you're on the right track. This is what you should be doing. And so Airyman Lives is an exploration of what do those moments feel like for people, because we all have them, whether no matter what your faith background, or even if you have no faith, we all have these moments where it feels like the universe or whatever power you believe in is trying to tell you, hey, I see you, and this is right where you need to be. And so we made a really like funny game about exploring moments like that.
Awesome. And how did Cyan get involved in all this?
Well, we met Rand back in four or 5 years ago at a conference, and got to like have one of those moments where you just, like, you meet your heroes, right? Like, everybody tells you not to, but in this case, Rand happened to just be a really lovely guy, and was talking about art, and was talking about meaning, and was talking about like how to tell stories that matter and that are authentic, and all of that. And so we had great conversations.
Awesome.
And same with you, Ryan. Like, I think I met you down in South by.
Yep.
In Austin, and we talked about really personal stuff.
Yep.
And the guy, so I think like meaningful experiences is what like ties our studios together.
Yeah.
And we express those in different ways. But yeah, like I think you saw Untethered, and I think at some point in our relationship it was like, you know what, this really needs to still exist.
Yes, for sure. And me telling Rand that, and then Rand getting to meet you guys that too, and I think it all worked out in the end. Speaking of Rand, I know we can get him on here, so let me grab him real fast, and let's get the man himself, right? Let's get him in here.
Okay. And you can do that sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
I got that pull, right?
That's not a big deal.
If he's paying attention, right? That's the key, I think.
Some of the man. I will say, when I first saw Ryan and Rand talk about VR, it was really cool because they were both just such VR optimists, and at the time people weren't all in on VR yet, and so it was just really cool to see how much they embrace those new technologies, and how much they both always want to be doing kind of the next big technology.
Oh, I forgot, like, he's an iconoclast and just really envision. Oh, hi, Rand.
Hi.
Hello.
What do you know?
I'm sorry, are you guys talking about me? I'm sorry.
Speak of the iconoclast.
Were you guys? I was just going around my computer, and I found this link, and I came in just at the right time. That works
That's
well.
amazing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So Rand, why did Cyan invest in helping out the Numinous team? What was your thing? What was the thing that just kind of drove home, like, hey, we should work with these people?
That is an easy question. So it became really clear when we saw what became known as Airyman Lives, and with the previous work that these guys had done, that Dragon Cancer, the whole group is in this really high echelon of influence. They knew people, famous people, and powerful people, and musicians, voice artists. Look at the voice. We just wanted to catch hold of that like elite status. And we're just, that's what we needed at Cyan, something to carry us forward.
You're just riding our coattails, is that?
Yeah, we're just. I mean,
Yeah.
We're not
Exactly.
worthy.
So no, joking aside, we've been making games for a long time. I've been making games for a long time, like way too long. And even when you play games, you're looking for something that's like unique. But more importantly, it's the whole. This whole business is just terrible unless you're working with like really good people. It's people that you'd want to actually have as your friends, not just your business associates. And so life's too short to jump on the bandwagon with people who aren't that. And Ryan, Amy, and I mean everybody we've met at Numinous is like that. So it was easy. I mean, and AML is like freaking unique and amazing. So those things combined, of course, yeah. I mean, look, making games is hard. So working with great people just makes that crazy hard work a bit more fulfilling and enjoyable. And that's not easy to do because did I mention making games is hard? Yeah. So
It's really hard.
anyway, you guys are awesome.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have this as a question, but that does come up is that we went through COVID while making this game, or you guys went through COVID while making this game, and I mean there were a lot of things that we had planned, and then things had changed. I remember us all being at PAX, right? And we were showing this game in VR, and now I think about that, and I'm going like, that sounds scary to me at this point. You know what I mean?
4 times. Yeah.
And
Nostalgic though. That was an amazing trip.
yes,
Amazing copies.
yes, it was.
Yeah, I flew out to Loveland, and we had like fun meetings there. It was short and sweet, but like great. And yeah, that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
That was
I think
like
it was.
just pre-COVID, right?
Mhm.
That was
I think the thing that,
2019,
like,
I think.
I think this thing that strikes me the most about you, Rand, is like there's no ego there, at least what I've seen. You put on a good front for how
I veil my ego.
no ego whatsoever. But like, just a genuine enthusiasm and a genuine desire to see us flourish. But like, I almost wanted you to tell us what to do. But like that's just not how you roll,
Yeah, no, you guys don't need to be told what to do. You guys have vision and creativity and unique ideas that you just need to do. So me telling you would have been just silly.
Yeah, I will say this. One of the things that was really funny for both me and Rand is when we were doing the contract, you had in the terms somewhere like final cut, like that Cyan would have say over the final cut. And I think we both looked at each other, Rand, and we were like, what? Like, that's just not who I think Cyan is. You know what I mean? So
No, we got some boilerplate stuff, but it's like, no, you work with people who you trust. And I mean, over the years, a lot of years of gray hair, it's the people that you write a contract with, but it's you come back and go, hey, can we change that? And they go, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever. They work with you. They try to make something good for everybody instead of, I don't know. The other side of the game industry is just disgusting and nasty, so it's not worth that. Yeah.
And you guys have shown that over and over again in this project, even, like you've always made decisions that were the best for the project and always been willing to do whatever it takes in that regard.
Yeah.
So I've really appreciated that. It's a thing to emulate for sure.
I wish we were so wealthy we could just flood you guys with money and you wouldn't have to worry about it. But we're kind of like we're like a tier above you in the indie realm, so we're trying to
it's like Uncle Indie
forward, but it's it still is hard.
And I think we shouldn't
it's
forget.
Uncle Indie.
And I think we shouldn't forget that we should also thank City Lights. They helped come in here too and help bring up another level of what we could do with this game. And so I don't have anyone from City Lights here to represent today, but I do think that they're just that another level that saw what we were doing and you know,
Well,
right.
I will say, Lon and David and Nick and Joel, they again, only wanted to do what was best for the project, and they really brought to bear their like ability to get talent and to give us the resources to finish and like all of that. So they came in at a really vital time that I feel like took the project to the next level that
Yeah.
we couldn't have gotten to otherwise.
Yeah. Good job, you guys. Good job, everyone.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we have really high caliber voice acting now, and super excited to have Ronan Farrell in this, Max Greenfield, and Joel McHale. Like all of that is just really
And
awesome.
Michael Peroto, who
Yeah,
voices a
yeah,
number
yeah,
of characters.
Yes.
You guys are just, that whole different echelon, how you can get these phone calls. Hey, come on in. We need some voice work. Boom. People are, knocking on your door. Please let us do voice work.
I'm pretty sure one of those connections came through you, Rand. You're the one with the big names in your Rolodex.
I don't know anybody. Sit here in Spokane and do my little business. COVID is good to me. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
We need to get. I got to get back out there and have dinner again. That was fun.
I hope you will. Yeah.
I love seeing you guys. You guys are awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm excited. This is great.
Yeah.
I have to go and get back to my very important stuff that I was working on before I joined this call. Surfed through and just found this link. So, yeah. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for all the hard work, and you guys rock.
Well,
Thank
thanks, Rand, for coming on.
All right. See you guys.
Well, that was nice. As we keep on talking about Area Man Lives, or AML as we like to call it, what is something that you guys hope that the player will take away by playing this game? Like, I think it's super unique. I love it. There's times that I've cried while playing in the headset, and they laughed, and there's been those touching moments, but it's all over the board. So I have my own perception of what you're trying to say, but I'd like to hear from you guys. Like, what do you hope the player will take away after playing AML?
I think there's a lot of things you can take away. I think, like you even just said, there's emotional parts. There's a lot of personal stories that are being told. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of humor. I think it showcases the humor on this team very well, especially in Amy's writing. I think some of the uniqueness is the fact that we do voice detection, and we have different moments throughout the game depending on what the player says. And so I hope that some of the things that players will take away is that they have a lot more agency in the game than they might originally think. They can influence what different characters might say, and absolutely what the Area Man's going to do, and different things that are going to happen in the game. So I think that's a huge thing for us. I think it's a way for players to maybe come out of their shells a little bit. If they're playing, in a room with other people, I think it could be performative. I think it'd be fun. One thing that I plan to do with my family and friends is, cast, the game from the Quest onto a TV and have people watch as others are playing. Like, I think that's gonna be really cool. I think it could be kind of a fun thing to just take turns kind of playing through and answering questions and taking the game in the different directions that you want to. I think there's a lot of possibilities there.
Awesome. Anyone else?
I think there's always something that I kind of aspire to in making a game, but I never quite know if we'll be able to pull it off. So for That Dragon Cancer, I really wanted the game to feel hopeful, but even as we were releasing it, I wasn't sure if it could feel hopeful. Like, that was just this thing where I'm like, I need it to feel hopeful, but I don't know that it will. And for Area Man Lives, my aspirational goal where I go, man, I would just love it if this was the case. But I don't know. I don't know yet. I would love if Area Man Lives felt as intimate to players as That Dragon Cancer did. And if we could find that same level of intimacy in humor and in playing along as we find in Sadness. Because in some ways, those tragic stories feel like sort of that shortcut to emotional intimacy for most of us. And what I'm really hoping is that we've created a story that takes the long way around and takes the harder path to emotional intimacy, but that we can find it in the middle of humor and playing along and silliness and just letting our guard down together and playing together.
Awesome. Josh or Ryan, anything?
It's really funny. Like it's seriously really funny. That's what I always like hold dear is truly funny.
Yeah. What I found surprising too was that like we all knew the script was funny, but like it's such a different level when you're in VR and you're like talking back and forth and the responses you get based on what you say, like it's just super surprising how funny it ended up really being.
Awesome.
Yeah. I hope people will take a chance with us because it is rather unconventional. We made creative choices that are minimalistic intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
In the hope that this in a medium that's meant to try to recreate reality, right? It's virtual reality. That most of what happens in story happens in our mind, and so just kind of leaning into that, imaginative part of that, and to kind of paint the pictures of these characters in your mind and choose to play along with them. And you said that a few times, play along. I hope people are willing to play along, because I think when you choose to play along, when you choose to enter into a relationship with other people, when you choose to let that intimacy happen, and I mean like emotional intimacy, right? Like that ability to connect with people at a personal level. And even if it's in a video game, or even if it's like performing, like Mike said, for your friends, family, or audience on Twitch or something. Like that's what I hope people will allow. And then as a result, that they will look for those moments where they feel seen by the universe. They feel like what they care about matters, and that they've dared to hope that what they do matters. I think when we dare to hope that what we do matters, like we can do anything, right? So
awesome. Last question I kind of have for all of you is, what's been the most rewarding part of working on AML? For me, it was meeting you guys. It really was going to Boston, actually meeting Mike. Mike came through in Coeur d'Alene. I got to hang out with him for a little bit too. But going to these conferences, meeting you, and for myself, it was just being a part of Team Numinous, right? Like being a part of that family that cares about this project, of course, but actually cares about each other more. You know what I mean? Getting to know your personal stories. Oh, okay. How are you guys handling through COVID? Having those conversations about, just that personal relationship that we have now started because of Area Man Lives. But what has been your guys' rewarding parts?
I'll start. I in addition to everything you said, like meeting all these new people that we get to work with, the folks from City Lights, the folks from Cyan, the QA team from Cyan, getting to work really close with them on getting the builds all prepared and working through all the bugs and everything. That was just a joy. Like you guys are all, so pro, as we like to say all the time. So that was extremely rewarding. I personally, I got to kind of stretch my dev legs even more on this project than I did on some of our previous projects. So it was really exciting to get in and do some of the development and, building out all the different narrative trees. And that was really exciting for me. I think that's where I had the most fun. And then the voice acting, being able to kind of spread my wings even more, take on multiple roles. It's super fun and extremely rewarding.
Co-star with TV's own Joel McHale and Max Greenfield.
Awesome. Ryan, you want to go next?
Sure. I think the coolest thing is the generosity of people. Like there are just times I'm really grateful that people see our work and believe it should exist, and because they believe it should exist, they're willing to help. And so whether that be saying yes to casting, saying yes to a song, kind of out of a cold, like we cold called like Future Folk, right? and they're like, "Hey, we love your movie. Would you write a song for our game?" And they actually did it, which was incredible. And they wrote this hilarious uh, bluegrass ditty about a space tow truck, which just to kind of go along with the ridiculousness of it, and be willing to say yes. I mean, I think that's even you guys too. Like people said yes even when Untethered looked like it was just going to die in seclusion or whatever. It didn't, and so I'm just really grateful for that.
Yeah. Josh.
Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of a toss-up between just like seeing the world be built from nothing, like that's very rewarding and satisfying to dream up something and then actually build it and be able to be present inside it. And then also like the talking about the story, working through the story, reading the script, and then to actually be able to play and interact with these virtual characters, talk to them, joke with them, and just kind of like once the performance is in, once the editing has been done, once it's tuned, like just experiencing the polished game itself is just really it's awesome to see, like to be able to experience the quirkiness and the hilarity, the awkwardness, the poignant, having it all come together after you've already seen like the early stages, and you hope that the vision will come to fruition, and seeing it actually happen is awesome.
Awesome. And Amy, what do you want to say about the most rewarding part of AML?
Gosh, there's so much. I think, this game has had longer than most games to kind of live inside my mind and to kind of, for me to imagine the potential it could have and how it could come out and like the ways I hope people will respond. And so lately it's like anytime anyone gets to play and they tell me like that they laughed while they played it, I was like, yeah, because it's like writing a joke and then or telling a joke and like waiting 4 months to see if someone laughs at it, except it's like been 5 or 6 years. And so it feels a little bit like standing up on stage and waiting to see if anyone's gonna like laugh at your joke when that punchline hits. So just on a personal level, that's always really rewarding when someone will tell me, oh, we played that at PAX, it was so funny, I laughed so hard, and I go, oh, you did? Like you thought it was funny? So there's something about that for me that is still really, really special. It's really rewarding for me to see our team continue to care about this world. As many people know, we released Area Man Lives as a narrative episodic game at first under Daydream. And so as Daydream kind of stopped existing, Untethered also stopped existing. And I still cared so much about the world. And at first I wasn't sure if our studio was going to keep believing in it. And so gradually to see members of the studio keep believing in it, especially like, I think Mike just always was like, yeah, like I just totally believe in this thing. And so having his kind of stamp of confidence to carry us through to continue working on it, seeing Cyan step in and believe in it. And then even having it be nominated by the Cannes Film Festival and having these actors step on and say yes, it's just like person after person saying, yeah, we really believe there's something here. And that's been really rewarding for me because I always believed there was just more to be done, more in this world, more to explore. So that's so rewarding. And then I don't know, I can't talk enough about how amazing it was to get to direct the actors that we had in this game. Like, it's one of those things you never expect to have happen to you. Like, when would I ever get to write scripts for these like amazing actors that I have seen, from afar, from TV, to get to write for them and direct them in person? It just feels like something that you don't get to do unless you are just like in the middle of Hollywood with a million connections. So the fact that that happened on this project is so rewarding and something I'll never forget. And I feel like it just took the game from something that was really fun and a great time to something that I think will really impress people. So, yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for having this conversation today. I hope that we continue to have other ones. I know there's other topics that we want to delve into at some point, so hopefully we can do some of that. Anyone want to say a personal statement to our fans or to everybody, just to about Area Man Lives, and it's out now, so go check it out. I guess available on Quest and Viveport and at Steam. All those places. Rift,
If you like it, then leave a review.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, still leave a review. But we hope you like it, and that and that you'll talk about it, and you'll think, that was really weird, but I really liked it. That's what I hope people come away with.
Nice.
I'd say throughout development, we've had all these really crazy coincidences where things that were already written in the game actually happened in real life. And so, yeah, I would just say, try to find those things, pay attention to those little things and appreciate them.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I was just going to add that I think it's a world that really wants to be lived in and not just blasted through. And sometimes we put on our VR headsets and you're just ready to blast into space and beat up the bad guys and do all the crazy stuff. And there's some opportunities for that. But I hope people will slow down enough to kind of live in this space and take in the world and just kind of relax and see if it's a place that you can find yourself feeling comfortable in, because that's when I think you get the very best experience in Area Man Lives.
Nice.
I think we've always kind of called it a chill game, it's a good game when you want to kind of chill out for a bit.
Yeah, it's a game you can play sitting down.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again, everybody. We'll have more of these. Congratulations, all of you. We're there.
Thank you.
Came out today. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.